Good morning. This is Kellaland on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
3 teenagers are in the Minnehaha County Jail charged with murder in connection with the August death of Paul Billion.
Authorities arrested the 18 and 19-year-old suspects over the weekend. All 3 are charged with first-degree murder. Court documents say the gun that was used to kill Billion was from a stolen truck earlier this year. Police arrested a 4th man in connection with the stolen guns.
Police believe the crime started as a drug-related robbery that escalated. According to an affidavit, authorities were able to track down the suspects using surveillance cameras along with Snapchat and Instagram.
People in a Central Sioux Falls neighborhood are looking forward to life getting back to normal following the weekend SWAT raid that led to the arrest of the 3 murder suspects.
One of the raids took place Saturday afternoon on Hawthorne Avenue just off 41st Street. Lexi Kelly lives next door to the house that SWAT officers stormed.
I think it's crazy. I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the neighborhood. I just never would have imagined it'd be my neighbor.
Kelly says she pulled the curtains down to her house so her young daughter couldn't see the tense situation unfolding next door. What started as a search for a missing man in Aberdeen is now a murder investigation, and another suspect in the death of Simon Deng is facing new charges. Kyle Threelegs originally faced a kidnapping charge. Brown County court documents show Threelegs is now charged with being an accessory to murder.
This comes a few weeks after Joshua Ortley was charged with first-degree murder. A 3rd person, Cecilia Walkingbull, is charged in connection with the kidnapping. Sioux Falls police are investigating a deadly crash north of town.
Authorities say they were called to the scene just before 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. When officers arrived, they found a pickup overturned in the middle of a field. One man was found inside and was pronounced dead on the scene.
Now let's send it over to meteorologist Scott Munt for a check of our morning forecast. Good morning, Scott.
All right, good morning, Sarah. Good morning, everybody. We are looking at a mostly sunny to partly cloudy day today. Now, we are starting with a couple of flurries, maybe a quick hit of light snow across extreme northeastern South Dakota. Temperatures this afternoon with that sunshine will warm to the 30s and even 40s in south central Kettleland. More details on your forecast with Brian coming up.
Thank you, Scott. In a budget address today, South Dakotans will find out how much state government has collected from taxpayers and whether a broad tax cut is possible.
Republican Governor Noem wants to exempt most grocery items from the state 4.5% sales tax. But some Republican lawmakers are considering a reduction in property taxes instead. The proposal would make the first $100,000 of taxable value of a home exempt from the statewide school levy and replace the revenue with state aid.
Noem estimates the cost of her grocery tax cut would be $100 million. The property tax cut would cost $70 to $90 million. Kettleland's Carter Schmidt and Bob Mercer will be covering the address. Stay with Kettleland News on air and online for their coverage throughout the day.
The new B-21 Raider was unveiled in Palmdale, California Friday night. Senator Mike Rounds and Representative Dusty Johnson were both there for the debut.
The congressmen say the B-21s will be the most advanced piece of technology ever developed for the defense of the United States. The first 2 squadrons for the stealth bomber will be located at Ellsworth Air Force Base in Box Elder.
I've seen this aircraft on several different occasions over the last several years as it has developed. And it's not just a matter of the aircraft developing, it's a matter of developing all of the different systems that go into the aircraft. But Friday night was very special for those of us that live in South Dakota and are looking forward to this particular bomber being deployed at Ellsworth Air Force Base. While that would be several years away, this was a major milestone.
The aircraft is set to take its first flight next year, but Rounds says exactly when they'll arrive at Ellsworth Air Force Base is classified. More of the B-21s are expected to be stationed at bases in Texas and Missouri. Rounds added that if purchases go on as scheduled over the next several decades, Ellsworth will be home to 3 squadrons of the B-21s. McCrory Gardens in Brookings is glowing this month.
Garden Glow began 8 years ago with just 11 decorated Christmas trees. It now consists of thousands of lights and multiple different displays throughout the garden.
Definitely come out and see it. It is definitely worth it. There's hot chocolate and thousands of lights to see.
You can see the display for yourself almost every evening now until January 6th from 5 to 9 p.m. That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karsten. Brian?
All right, our weather map for tonight, looking at some snow. I would say for the most part, kind of a nuisance accumulation, but a trace to a couple of inches, depending on how these bands set up here around Eureka, Mobridge, and Aberdeen. You go south, you're probably not looking at as much here for Watertown or Brookings, but that's something there tonight I would watch. And then we've got another system coming our direction for Thursday night into Friday morning. Snow is in the forecast for southeast Kettleland. And when I say that, I probably better be careful because we also have seen some shifts a little north. So even like Brookings and out to Pier, it's possible this could expand a little bit more to the north. That's been the trend in the last 24 hours. So continue to watch for updates on that. I would categorize this snow system probably as a plowable system, but not a major storm. We're going to have probably a fast movement to this low pressure area, which would tend to minimize some of the heaviest accumulations, but I would also say it's enough to snarl up travel. Could be an issue there Friday morning. The weekend starts dry. I think overall I'm more inclined to keep things quiet for now. Sunday, later in the day, and then turning the page to Monday, all eyes will be on some developing weather. Now, that could include a lot of talking points. There could be some hefty snows in parts of the northern plains next week. There also could be some significant rains. That's a new topic to bring up. Many questions. We don't have a lock-in on a timeline exactly, although into Tuesday might be a little more probable. And I would say until we get a better idea on the storm track, rain, snow, those kind of things can still be talked about. That's next week. First things first, let's look at this Thursday night, Friday system. I would say a big part of northern Iowa, north of Highway 20, and a big portion of southern Minnesota. Already in a moderate to high chance of at least 3 inches of snow. So think about that as that low pressure area gathers strength to the southwest. Okay, well, as we cover your weather, let's get into the numbers. Today, 35 Sioux Falls, 36 in Rapid City. All is pretty quiet today. Tonight, that's snow in the far north. That comes with 3 in Mobridge, 1 degree in Aberdeen. And our forecast on the 7-day Sioux Falls picks up a better chance of snow late Thursday, Friday. That's in that 40-50% range at least. I'm also inclined to bump up the odds of precipitation early next week. Lots to say there, but today it's, again, we're sitting out there day 6, day 7, so it's a long ways off yet. Aberdeen, same idea. Could get rather active next week, but until we have more details, we're going to kind of broad brush that. I think that the weather going before that, still pretty good. You know, temperature-wise, we're not really in a good alignment to see any substantial cold weather. So Pier and Rapid, you'll moderate into the upper 30s and low 40s this weekend. Obviously, Rapid City has done nicely on some of these warm-ups. You'll do it again Friday at 45, but next week that chance of snow, I think, is really going to go up there too. So we are in the process of changing that part of the forecast. Stay with us, stay online. More details at KELOLAND.com.